Hello Geeks and Gamers, Matt Lemke here with 2Gamer Goggles, and today we've got another flip through for you. This flip through is on the Player's Handbook, and since I haven't done too many D&D books, I'm going to go ahead and start by letting you know that this isn't a review of the book per se. It's more like what I have found that I agree with and like in my initial flip through. And you know, very first thing I can tell you I like is I think the art from 5th edition, or from 4th edition to 5th edition, has improved. That to me is part of enjoying these books more. One of the other things that they did that I like a lot is the paper that they use is, well, you know, it's a fully embossed book and stuff, but the color. I like the beiges and off texture behind it. It gives it that parchment-like feel. The book starts off and it throws you right into character development, which has changed significantly in my opinion from 3.5 to 4th edition to 5th edition. I believe character creation is, for the most part, easier now. And then, you know, the book features characters, classes, well, not characters and classes, we're not going to talk so much about that, but it features iconic characters to their storyline, like Drizzt, as the gentleman from Gale Force 9 produced. The other thing that is, let's see, what page was it on? If I can find it real quick. The way they break down the book is they throw you right in to your step-by-step character creation with classes, personality background, purchasing the equipment, customization options, and then part 2 is much more about playing the game, which is a different type of layout than D&D has used in the past. So if you jump in the back to page 171-ish, which, by the way, this is a roughly 300-page book, and the first 171 pages are about character creation. So you get all of that is your character creation. So there's a good bit of this book is about creating and defining who you are. The D&D Next seems to be a game, from my initial playtesting, I haven't actually played the actual rules yet, I've only played the playtest version. And it focuses, the game really focuses a lot on playing a character, or for lack of a better way, writing the story of a character. And then Chapter 2 starts off with you going over how to use the abilities, which is nothing too terribly significant from, you know, D&D. You've done it in the past. It's relatively the same. And then there's, you know, it goes over ability checks and using each ability and how these checks can be passive, how they can work together. It goes over how they apply to different saving throws and skills. And then it moves into adventuring. And they break down time, movement, speed, you know, and they go through the environment. And actually, I have to stop here real quick because there's something about this picture that makes it my favorite picture in the book. And I think more than anything, it's the way the colors are used. You've got this guy sitting in a tree who's probably a ranger type of character, and he's in this tree above the encampment on guard duty. It looks like he's yawning or eating his finger, but that part's irrelevant. I just like the colors and the flow of it all. Anyway, back to the book. They go over food, water, social interactions, role-playing. One of the significant things that I think has changed in this game that has made playing a little bit easier is resting. Resting has become a little bit more simplified than it has been in the past. What I don't know, which I'll have to look at here shortly, is if elves sleep now, or if resting is a universal term. And then it moves into combat, which has changed a little bit. There, you know, real quick right here, there's an overview of combat step by step. Is determine surprise, establish positions, roll initiative, and then take turns and begin the next round. Which, I mean, it's not too terribly different. but it's different enough that, I don't know, it feels like it's a different flow to me than what I'm used to playing in 3.5 and in Pathfinder. And then there's, movement and position. It goes through all the details of what being prone is, flying movement, all that stuff, just like you would expect from any role-playing starter book, or not so much a starter book. Now, that was roughly 20 pages, and that was combat and the basics of movement and things in the game. And then you have part 3, which I believe is the rest of the book. Let me check real quick. Is all, well, except for the appendixes, which are one of the most important parts of the book to me. But then you've got almost 100 pages on magic. Now, what's unique about this is they go over and they go over spells and all the saving throws and everything. Oh, it's a little bit shorter than I remember. I seem to remember there was about 10 pages on how magic works, so it was very thorough. But still, they broke it down. It's pretty simple. I do believe magic has become simpler to use in 5th edition. And then it goes over, and then chapter 11, you start with all your spells. You might notice that the spell lists are smaller than what you're familiar with, but I would say don't worry. D&D 5th edition or D&D Next is going to be around a while, and there's going to be a lot more spells and supplements and things of that nature. They're also, like, these are just the bard spells, and then the cleric spells start on the bottom of the page. A lot of these spells are pretty much the same as they've been in the past, but some have changed significantly. I don't know well enough which ones have, so I'm not going to find one for you. And then they go through the descriptions of the spells, and it pretty much goes all the way through to, page 290-ish, which, 290 is where Appendix A starts, and that's the first appendix is about the different conditions, and you can see different things here from the art of what they're talking about. This guy's blind, he's wearing a blindfold. Frightened, somebody's scared, obviously. Charmed, petrified, deafened, and these are kind of comical little pictures. Like the petrified guy is a statue and his arm's broken off him. Grappled, this guy messing with an octopus or some kind of tentacled beast. Yeah, and it goes through all those, and then you've got the pantheons of the gods, which they don't really cover in this book. So I expect that real soon we're going to get another one. I mean, you've got all these different deities of Forgotten Realms. You've got Greyhawk and you've got Dragonlance, which right there technically is a spoiler for what's going to be coming out down the road in some of these other things. And then you've got, historical pantheons, Celtic deities, Greek deities, Egyptian deities, Norse deities. So they did a good job of taking something that we already know a lot about, and they did it. And then you've got the appendix of the planes of the existence. Creature stats, so there's enough here actually you can make a character and somebody could DM it, one of their own little world games. And then in the back you have inspirational readings, which this is actually a really good list if you're a reader. There are a lot of good books here to read. Some of them are by great authors, some of them are by authors I've never heard of, and then I look at the title and I'm like, oh, they wrote that. That type of thing. And then the index is pretty thorough. It's pretty fine print, as it should be. And on the very back, you have a sample character sheet, which, by the way, if you have the D&D starter box, there is one of these in there for you. It is not as detailed as this one is. This one goes out to spells. And then on the back, they have this little thing about what comes next. So, that is the flip through, what you get from this book. Now, one of the things that I both like and dislike about this book is it's not picture heavy. There's not a lot of art in this book. There's a lot of text. And it's pretty much straightforward text, like it's a school textbook. This book is truly a tool, which it's a player's handbook. It should be a tool. With that being said, thanks for watching. This has been a flip through with Matt Lemke through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com, and check back next week. I hope to have maybe a written review on this book, a couple hundred words or whatever, and more flip throughs. Every Thursday is RPG Day. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.